We're now underway to the little town that refused to die, a little mining town called Oatman, Arizona. So we crossed over into Arizona and we're heading for Oatman. It's the tourists keep it alive. Oatman is on the old Route 66, historic route that went across America. And it was at one time an old mining town turned tourist town now. And so we'll go look around and see what we can see. We've already seen a few burros. The burros are one of the most interesting draws to Oatman, and they're just walking around on the streets and everywhere. And these are feral or wild burros, but they've become real tame with the tourists around every day, all day long.
Historic Oatman. Sick.
That must be where you park, isn't it?
There's the gallery.
Let's go see if we can find us a place to park.
Wow, there's a lot of people here. Look at that. Look at all those cars parked there. It says, "Welcome to Oatman." There,
We'll take the short walk up to where we come to the first open air market. There's stones of every kind, color, and shape here, and Marge was kind of interested in the turquoise, but I don't know how to tell the real stuff from the artificial stuff. The artificial stuff is just a dyed stone that isn't as valuable as turquoise, but it does take the dye real well and does look pretty good. But if you're buying turquoise, maybe you should get the real deal. And if you're in a shop where there's turquoise, and if it's a reputable shop, and you ask them if it's real or if it's the dyed stone, which are pretty nice, and maybe they'd be okay, but it'd still be nice just to know what you're really getting. And a reputable shop will tell you. I suppose there are some that maybe won't.
How's it going today, sir?
Oh, good. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Yeah. Is this turquoise here artificial or is?
Yeah, so most of the pieces that you're seeing for the turquoise is actually your halite that's been dyed blue. And one name that they give the halite is poor man's turquoise. I kind of don't like the name of it because it seems a little bit rude to call it poor man's turquoise. Yeah. But halite naturally is going to be this white stone. So you see how you can see these like yellow veins that are popping up inside of it?
Right.
That is the telltale sign that is halite and not your turquoise. So when you look at these pieces over here, you see how you can see these yellow veins that are still in the piece?
Yeah.
That's your halite. Halite takes to dye really, really well. So they typically dye it in your blues, your greens, your reds, and your blacks.
Yeah.
So for example, in the red, I have this one over here, but you still see how you can see these veins in it?
Yeah.
That's your halite, and it's been dyed red in this case.
Oh, but it is real stone.
It is a real stone,
turquoise.
but it's not the turquoise. It's it's your halite that's been dyed.
Right. Yeah.
So this way, when you go to other places that are selling jewelry, you can't have them try to, sell you fake turquoise and pass it off as real. Now you know.
Yeah. Maybe if you could tell me what these are for now.
So these are your Derma Rollers. Your Derma Rollers they use in order to roll on your face and on your skin in order to roll out the wrinkles. The reason why they call it the Derma Rollers is because of your epidermis, your outermost layer of your skin.
Yeah. And what are they made of?
So I've got mahogany obsidian, I've got amethyst, I've got jade, I've got citrine here, I've got marble.
Oh, yeah.
These ones over here are a form of jasper. This right here is your rose quartz with jade in the middle.
I'll be darned.
This one's another citrine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, see, we hunt a lot of petrified wood. That's some of the petrified wood here on my ring
Oh, that's a gorgeous piece.
that we found. We send them to Sri Lanka and have them cabbed or faceted. And what are those guys?
These guys are your dragon eye opals. So they take pieces of rainbow opal, fire opal, and black opal. They'll cab the stone, and then they'll paint it and window it to look like a dragon's eye.
Oh, I'll be darned. Yeah, well, that's neat. Yeah, well, thank you.
You're very welcome, and you folks enjoy the wonderful town of Oatman today.
Oh, we certainly will. Yeah,
Hello.
and maybe in a week or so I'll have that on YouTube.
2 separate transactions. All right, so just let me know what should be on the first and what should be on the second.
Tom, what do you think we need?
Oh, but everybody else is over
What do you think?
What?
They were looking for you.
The necklace that says Oatman, Arizona on it.
Yeah.
Or do you like the ones that have the
stone in them.
The stone in it.
Yeah.
Did you see these earrings? I wouldn't wear the earrings, but you could make a necklace out of some of these.
Where's the rock shop at?
You get 2 of these.
Yeah. Is there any rocks around here at all?
I don't know. I think it's a little hard to find out if we do or no.
You have a Trump flag.
Hey, Dave said that.
Yep, I have all the flags that you see that are hanging up.
You have Trump flags? Oh, yeah, Trump 2024?
Yep, I've got those flags. I've got them in the blue. I've got them in the black.
Just like a...
Right over there on the flag. That's
Okay.
the blue one that I had that just says Trump 2020.
Yeah, Trump 2024.
I imagine, I don't know.
I don't see any prices on them.
Yeah. Well, we can. He'll be unbusy in just a minute.
You don't like any of these necklaces.
Well, I'd rather have a stone.
That's this kind.
That's real turquoise. He said that's the
Yeah.
only real turquoise he's got.
Unfortunately, my boss is a little bit stingy when it comes to like getting real turquoise
Yeah.
because he doesn't want to pay the premium.
Oh.
So those 3 right there and then this one right here are all pieces of real turquoise. So these 2 smaller ones right here are 20, and then this one right here is 30, and then this one right here is 40.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you then.
These are bracelets. There, did you get it?
I got. Up this way.
Old school soapworks.
like it. Why doesn't say some more with it?
The one thing there doesn't seem to be a shortage on in the town of Oatman is wind chimes. There are just jillions of them, and a lot of them saying Route 66. There's even some saloon girl dresses here, and I thought one of those would look really nice on Marge, but she wouldn't agree. She said she wouldn't be caught dead in one and was not even the slightest bit interested.
They're corn. They're corn. Anyone want some?
So they'll come down to the food on it.
It's becoming real hot in Oatman now, and our pace has slowed somewhat. Remember, this is Arizona, and it does get hot here, but we're going to do the whole town.
Better get it right. Hey, you better watch it, girl. Right here, right now.
Ice cream salon.
What?
I just said.
I think there's an old saloon here, and I think they're serving something other than alkali water in that saloon, the way the noise is being. It looks like there's a picture of Olive Oatman, and she's the one that the town is named after, and she was the one that was taken prisoner by the Indians, and they raised her as her own, and then when she got to be adult, they sold her back to her own family. The marks on her chin are tattoos the Indians put there. They said she might fall in a rat hole and disappear forever unless she got those tattoos on her chin. Looks like this donkey hasn't missed many meals. They were left here by the miners who used to use them to work, and it looks like their only work now is begging for food.
Here, I'll get my change out. Here's $10.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Whoops.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, somebody said those burros occasionally kick someone, and but usually not very bad. But they are wild animals, and you should use caution around them, particularly when they're hungry and feeding. There was a little girl got up behind one of them, was playing around right at his heels, and a woman came out of the shop and said, "That's not a real good place to be, right behind the burro's heels." We walked around the town and took the whole place in this time. There's shop after shop, and they're all loaded with tourist goods. And you can buy a few alfalfa pellets or something like that to feed the burros, and a little bag of them only costs you like $1, so you'll get your dollar's worth of good out of that just in entertainment, and the burros like it. We went in to an old bar where they'd stapled dollar bills all over everything. The ceiling and every place in there had dollar bills on it. And some of them that were outside were pretty well weathered, but I don't know what they do with them. Apparently they don't take them down. They just leave them there. and there's a lot of dollars worth of dollar bills that the tourists had stapled on the walls, the doors, and even the posts outside. And I don't know whether they gather them up and use them occasionally or what happens. Next, we're going to go to an old mine. The old mine doesn't look to be the real deal, but still it was kind of fun to go in, and there were some kids there really enjoying it. And it was real nice and cool inside, so it was a worthwhile little jaunt into the old mine, and at least I settled my curiosity problem about what it would be.
Oh, it's cool in here.
Yeah.
Darn. Look over here.
I think this is just a replica of an old mine. I doubt there's ever been an ounce of gold taken out of here. But it's for the tourists, and the kids seem to enjoy it.
There.
Beaver tail cactus in bloom. After the beaver tail cactus, we went to the old jail, and I'm not sure how this jail worked. I'm not familiar with this kind of jail, but it doesn't look like it would be any luxury accommodations in there. It looks like it would be pretty hard time, and even a few minutes spent in here would probably be pretty rough. We left Oatman, and it's back to the Imperial Valley. I've got a dentist appointment tomorrow, and so we're looking at some of the hay. I didn't know there was that much hay in the entire world. I don't know what they're doing with it all. It must be that it's there to be shipped
They
out.
must sell that, I guess, huh? Ship it out?
Turn right onto East Worthington Road.
Wow. What'd you say? Look at those.
Those egrets.
Where are they at? I feel they haven't planted anything in yet.
It's barley off to the left there.
There, they got their corn planted. Some more corn. See? Lots of corn coming. That's going to be coming up.
Then back to our camp, and a little velvet ant got in an awful hurry to run across the little two-track road and hide. Some tadpoles are in the little warm springs where the artesian well is, and some little mosquito eater fish. We found a bunch of pieces of pottery, and some of the locals say that these are what they put over a person's face when they bury him, the dead person with a hole in the center of it, and then they became broke up afterwards. So they should be handled with care and not taken from the site. although it looks as though someone's collected these and put them in a pile there. An old snake has slithered across the sand here. He's not in a typical sidewinder pattern, and he looks a little large to be a sidewinder, so he's something else. But normally we see a lot of sidewinder tracks, but not this time. I think it may have been too cold, and they're not out too much, although they're just starting to come out. After a very nice quiet night out in the desert with only the coyotes howling, it's time for us to gather up and chart a course toward home. We've been longer than we should have been already, and so we're getting packed and ready to go. Through Las Vegas, and Las Vegas was really nice to go through this time. People were real courteous, and there were none of those sports cars came up with that eardrum breaking scream that some of their mufflers made. There was none of that went on, so Las Vegas was a pleasure to go through this time.
Look at the hotels, the casinos. Wow. All the bikers.
Yeah.
Okay then. Okay, let's go.
There's an old wrecked airplane out in front of a closed up brothel. I just wonder how the guys explained that to their wives when they came home and said, "We wrecked our airplane at a brothel." I wonder what their wives said. Then it's up Highway 95 north. The road's so straight, it comes to a point in front of you as we move our way north at a pretty good clip. Then I'm starting to feel at home. We're in Nevada's cattle country, and some real cowboys are chasing real cows across the road. One of them even has his lariat rope, swinging it to get the cow's attention. I think they're just driving these cattle across the road to change pastures. You have to constantly rotate the pastures because this area, it can take 40 acres for one single cow to graze on. And so you have to keep them moving all the time to get them on fresh pasture. And the baby calves, aren't they cute? And they're really little ones. The one cowboy's swinging his rope, but he's not hitting anything with it. He's just swinging it to make a little noise. Seeing these cattle going across the road brings back old childhood memories to me because I was raised on a ranch in Montana, and in our photo album I found some pictures of a cattle drive that was way over 100 years old, and that's my grandpa in the wagon and three of my uncles on the horses, and they're moving the cattle out to take them to Cheyenne to put them on the railroad and send them to Chicago for the market. It was a great trip to Southern California and the Great Imperial Valley and Mexico and Oatman, but it's really good to see those Steens Mountains of Oregon showing up, and even a little antelope buck standing in the shadow of the Steens Mountains doesn't hurt a thing. He's really a beauty, and he's going to walk off. Although they're the world's fastest long-distance runners, and they have no dew claw, just so they can run faster. From there, we go to a hot springs in Oregon. It's a very nice hot springs. The smaller pools are hotter and the bigger pools are cooler. And all the water you see out here are beaver dams, and they've really been working overtime, building lots of beaver dams on the creek behind the hot springs.